Hi, 5th grade. Today we're going to add the details to our emojis. We've been talking about emotions in art. Throughout the years, art has made us feel certain ways. Artists have wanted us to have certain emotions when looking at their artwork. So before we begin today, I want you to take a moment for a turn and talk. Here's what I want you to talk about. How does an artist show emotion in artwork? Go ahead and talk to a neighbor. How does an artist show emotion in their artwork? Artists show emotion in artwork in many different ways. It could be the actual expression of a face. It could be the color or shapes that make you feel a certain type of way. If an artist wants you to feel a little bit more scared or concerned, they might choose to do more of a surreal or kind of dreamy type of art. The way that an artist used certain media on paper or canvas, like this one, looks very angry, so you might even see the emotion in the mark making. Or it could have to do with the lack of space. So you can see that this boy in this picture is kind of all alone. There's a lot of space around him, so it kind of makes you feel a little bit lonely. So this photographer took that into consideration. This is a really low quality photo for some reason, but this is young Jake. He's the artist that we're going to be studying for the emoji project. Here's one of his artworks. Take a close look. What do you notice about it? Look closely. If you look at it, it's actually made up of different emojis, so he uses emojis to make faces. He's known for using emojis to create different celebrities, a lot of his favorite musicians. But yeah, if you look closely, you can see it's all just different emojis created to look like a face. Here's one of Cardi B. It's not always musicians. In this case, it's Leonardo DiCaprio, which is an actor, and it's all emojis. Here's one of my favorites that he's done. This is Ariana Grande. But look, there's the cookie emoji and heart emojis. It's just made out of different emojis. Okay, so let's get started. There's some things I want to go over. Remember, you're going to need a placemat, paintbrush, paper towel. Today, you probably want a smaller paintbrush because today we're going to focus on the details. So I'm going to put a bunch of these little yellow paintbrushes. These are the smaller ones. So if you want a smaller one for details today, that's the one to go for. Like always, I'm going to help you with your first few colors. Just let me know what you need. I will put it out, and then as class is going on, if you need more, you can get it yourself. I'm going to use this emoji today for my details. I decided to change it up. If you've decided to change yours up, that's okay. Your digital images that you submit to me should be printed and on the middle table. Please don't take them home because you are going to be using them for painting. Now, before I get colors, let's take a look at what I have. I'll need some white, some black, some brown, looks like pink, and maybe some red, maybe some pink mixed with white for that highlight on the tongue. Start with 3 colors, guys. Don't use too many because my pet peeve is when my paints go down the drain. Just start with 3 colors. If you need more, that's totally fine. I can get that out for you. Okay, so because I'm starting with 3 colors, I'm going to start with the white. I need the brown and a little bit of that black for the middle of the eye. So that's what I'm going to start with. Remember, we have the paint trays. All you need is one. You take the paint, give it a shake with the lid closed. Once you've given it a shake, you can open it, pop the lid, get in there, bam. All right, hold it on its side, and then barely squeeze a little bit out. That was probably too much. Try to be better than I am. I have like a super strong fist or something. Give it just a little bit on each one. Don't forget to close these up. Just a little bit is all you need. Especially while painting, it's important to use the green arrows because if you don't and someone's going the wrong way, you're going to get covered in paint. Once you've set all your stuff down, you may decide to get a water cup. I have water cups over here. I may have these already filled for you. If not, all you do is just turn the water on. Not fast water, turn it on slow water always. Give it about an inch worth of water. I don't know why people fill these up with water as if they're going to drink it, but this is going to help us clean our brush and switch colors. Before you begin, one consideration you may have is because this is a spear, it's going to roll around a little bit. You might want to find a really good spot for you to do the face. So it's actually kind of good that I have this little dent in there because it sits really good. But you're going to have to think about where is this face going to go. I'm going to let you decide that. All right, so when I paint, my personal preference is to start with the lightest color and then work my way to the darkest. These tempera paints, sometimes they dry fast and sometimes they don't. It depends on the color. I'm going to start with the eye of my emoji. So it's just one big white circle. So I'm going to start with that. As you're looking at your emoji, you may notice that there's some cracking. That is totally normal. That's just what happens with tempera paint. Unfortunately, our paint's a little old, and I have spent a lot of money buying new paint, but as always, it gets older and ages. If you need to today, you can go over those cracks with that same color again. And that should help with the cracking if it's really bothering you. Alright, so I'm already done with the white, and look, see I have so much left over. Try to see if someone else can use your paint before you just dump it down the drain, just because it helps me with costs. So like I said, use just a little bit. You don't need to fill up these little circles with different paints. Just start with 3. Anything left over, maybe a friend can use before that you clean up. Now I want to put a little bit of black inside of that circle, so I'm going to go into the water. I usually swirl around a little bit, get rid of that gunk, otherwise you're going to have a weirdo color. Don't forget to dab. No, not this kind of dab, this kind of dab. And yes, your hands are going to get kind of dirty today, just like mine. I'm going to go into the black, and then even though the white's still wet, I'm just going to pop a little circle right in the middle. If you want to make yours bold, some people have decided to outline their shapes. You can totally do that. That's your prerogative, your choice. Alright, now it's time for me to clean my brush and go into that brown. The brown was on the winky eye and then also in the mouth. I'm just going to paint the whole mouth brown, and then maybe next time I'm going to do the tongue. So don't feel like you have to finish today. Today is not the last day. Gotta dip, let it drip, swirl, whatever you need to do, and then dab. Okay, so before I clean up, I'm going to quickly go over your homework. So you actually have something you need to take home and get signed. That's really all it is. So this is the art hot glue gun permission form. I'm not going to read this all to you, but basically, if you would like to use the hot glue gun and add some things like horns or a hat or a crown or something in cardboard or whatever you bring from home, you need to have this signed. So what you're going to do is you're going to write your name here, have your parents write their name here, sign right here, so this is cursive, and then date. If you can get this signed, you can use the hot glue gun. If you can't get this signed or turned back into me by next time, unfortunately you can't use the hot glue gun, and you're going to have to find a different way to make it work. So I will be sending this home with you today to take back to your classrooms and take home and get this signed. You can either turn it into me next time when you come to class, or if you see me before school, I will take it then. Okay, let's talk about cleanup. So this is either when you're done or at the end of class. Take your paintbrush, put it in the water cup. That's really all you need to do. And all you need to do is put it right here in this right sink. I'm going to change up the cleaning procedures a little bit just because we had some flooding the other day. I've been having to take recess time away from a couple 5th graders. You know who you are, because they were leaving my room a little bit messy and wet, which is a safety concern. So please make sure you're following the following instructions. Your emoji goes on the back counter. Just be careful of others. Try not to touch anyone else's. It still might be wet. When you're ready for cleanup, remember, double check and make sure you ask people if they need any of these colors so they don't get wasted. Over here is the cleaning station. Okay, so in order not to miss recess and not make a mess back here, please turn the water on, turn it to its very lowest setting. Take the tray, put it under the water a little bit to loosen up the paint. Then take this big old paintbrush, do circles until it starts to disappear. Get that gooky, gross, nonsense paint out of there, especially that black. That black can stain, I've noticed. White is kind of hard to see. Get those little spots, and you are all done. Does not have to be completely perfect, but just clean the best you can. Turn off the water. Place the big old paintbrush back where you found it. And then remember over here, we have this little tray. Just put it inside so that it can dry out and people aren't tempted to stack it like they did last year. And then you're all done back here. Please don't socialize or flirt back here. If you see any water, we have paper towels. Try to get that. This is a safety concern. Obviously, you don't need your paper towel anymore. That can be thrown away. Your placemat, You just place it back where you found it. I've seen some people clean these. That's a waste of time. Don't worry about it. Just worry about cleaning your paint tray and other things. If you do finish, awesome, good for you. Make sure that your table is clean, get that extra guckiness. Also, these wet wipes work great for cleaning your hands. Use these before you go outside and wash your hands, guys. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. I'm excited to see your emojis. Don't forget your hot glue permission form.